why you should get one of these, I'm going to tell you now, so you stay in touch. You want to know the answer, because it's a good camera. But seriously, when you consider any kind of professional cameras, you should bring this camera to your list, because it's a really good camera. I'm a real estate or architectural photographer, and I've been using this camera for last couple of months, and I had a massive jump in my career. I think it's a super professional camera that's a game changer. That could be a game changer for any kind of photographer. Especially when you combine the good camera with the really nice lens, you get maximum from your tools, and that's the whole point, to get as much as possible from the tools that you're working with. So but to be honest, it's not kind of review this video. It's just about the items and options that I like about this camera. First of all is the grip. I love these kind of grips. It's solid, it fits in my hands, and it's really cool. It's really good and useful. Actually, I added a battery grip for vertical situation when I'm gonna use it for fashion or modeling, and it's really useful, and also it will last long, 50% more, because it's a dual battery grip. So that was about the grip. The only down point about this grip is extra weight, but for me it's nothing, no worry. And the second thing is the sensor, the amazing sensor, 13 megapixel and full frame, which obviously you can get really nice, smooth, sharp, high quality images from this camera. And the other thing that I really like about this camera is the touch screen. They added the touch screen LCD here, and it's very smooth. It's like it has a feeling like you're working with an iPad. It's that kind of smooth, and it's very easy and nice to work with. And the Canon obviously has the same layout and format for the menu, easy to find anything that you need. And that was my third point. And the other thing which is very useful for any kind of photography, I think, is the Wi-Fi function. The Wi-Fi function is, let's put it that way, it helps me a lot when I'm in the location to shoot I don't know, a property, and I have to do every single room, and some of the rooms are super tiny and small, so I don't have much space to stand behind the camera. So with this new function, I can put the camera on a tripod and put it in the corner as close as possible to the walls, and check my composition on my smartphone, and if it's okay, then I go outside the room and press the shutter from outside, and I have the shot. And it's a really useful, especially for architectural and real estate photography. And also you can do other cool stuff with this Wi-Fi function, such as what should we call it? This is a kind of flash photography, and you can put some speed light, set it for different kind of situation, and you can control your camera from 10 meters or 15 meters behind, and that's really good. And the fifth things about this are huge amount of AF point that you can use every single one to focus on your subject, which is a great and powerful things, powerful tool to have, and especially for product photography and food. And the other things that I really expected Canon to put this on camera, which they finally did, is the 4K video. So, but also there is a down point on here, which is about the frame rate of 4K. It's only, unfortunately, it's only 24 frames per second, but it's not a massive down point. And the other thing that I like is high frame rate. They added to the movie options. You can do a really nice slow motion in camera. This is very important, in camera, up to 120 frames per second, and they will transfer the data and the footage to, I think it's 24 or 25 frames per second slow motion. Very nice. But the down point again is it's not full HD, it's only HD. That means 1280 by 720. And I think these are my highlights about this camera. And actually there's another point here you should keep in mind. If you want to use high frame such as 60 frames per second for full HD, and if you want to use high frame slow motion in camera up to 120 frames per second, you should change your camera system to NTSC. Keep that in mind. So if you use it on PAL system, you won't be able to use 120 frame and 60 frames per second. It would be 50 frames per second for full HD and 100 frames per second for high frame rate. So that was all the tips and all my highlights about this camera, and hope you enjoy the video. And feel free to subscribe to my channel to see more stuff and more new videos about the lenses, cameras, and places that I'm going to discover. And it should be really good fun. Thanks for watching. Stay in touch.